Hello friends, welcome back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. So I'm probably going to be a little bit backlit in this video, but I'm under our big stone gazebo because the weather is not that great. It's been a little drizzly today, and so I figured this was a great place to be sheltered from the weather. As always, every Friday I'm sharing a video reading through the Bible, and today we are going to be reading in the book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 4 or 3, depending upon your Bible, through the end of chapter 36. Let us begin with prayer. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who gives the Torah of truth and the good news of salvation to your people Israel and to all people through your Son, Yeshua the Messiah, Jesus the Christ. Amen. Genesis chapter 32, and again, beginning in verse 4 or 3, depending upon your Bible. The Bible I'm reading from is the CJB. You can get more information about it in the video description down below. Yaakov sent messengers ahead of him to Esau his brother toward the land of Seir, the country of Edom, with these instructions. Here is what you are to say to my lord Esau. Your servant Yaakov says, I have been living with Laban and have stayed until now. I have cattle, donkeys, and flocks, and male and female servants. I am sending to tell this news to my lord in order to win your favor. The messengers returned to Yaakov, saying, We went to your brother Esau, and he is coming to meet you. With him are 400 men. Yaakov became greatly afraid and distressed. He divided the people, flocks, cattle, and camels with him into 2 camps, saying, If Esau comes to the one camp and attacks it, at least the camp that is left will escape. Then Yaakov said, God of my father Abraham and God of my father Yitzhak, Yehovah, who told me, Return to your country and your kinsmen, and I will do you good. I am not worthy of all the love and faithfulness you have shown your servant, since I crossed the Jordan with only my staff. But now I have become 2 camps. Please, rescue me from my brother Esau. I'm afraid of him, afraid he'll come and attack me without regard for mothers or children. You said, I will certainly do you good and make your descendants as numerous as the grains of sand by the sea, which are so many they can't be counted. He stayed there that night. Then he chose from among his possessions the following as a present for Esau his brother: 200 female goats and 20 males, 200 female sheep and 20 males, 30 milk camels and their colts, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 colts. He turned them over to his servants, every drove by itself, and said to his servants, Cross over in front of me and keep a space between each drove and the next one. He instructed the servant in front, When Esau my brother meets you and asks, Whose servant are you? Where are you going? And whose animals are these? Then you are to say, They belong to your servant Yaakov, and they are a present he has sent to my lord Esau, and Yaakov himself is just behind us. He also instructed the second servant and the third, and all that followed the droves. When you encounter Esau, you are to speak to him in the same way, and you are to add, And there, just behind us, is your servant Yaakov. For he said, I will appease him first with the present that goes ahead of me. Then, after that, I will see him myself, and maybe he will be friendly toward me. So the present crossed over ahead of him, and he himself stayed that night in the camp. He got up that night, took his 2 wives, his 2 slave girls, and his 11 children, and forded the Yabok. He took them and sent them across the stream, then sent his possessions across, and Yaakov was left alone. Then some man wrestled with him until daybreak. When he saw that he did not defeat Yaakov, he struck Yaakov's hip socket, so that his hip was dislocated while wrestling with him. The man said, Let me go, because it's daybreak. But Yaakov replied, I won't let you go unless you bless me. The man asked, What is your name? And he answered, Yaakov. Then the man said, From now on you will no longer be called Yaakov, but Israel, because you have shown your strength to both God and men, and have prevailed. Yaakov asked him, Please tell me your name. But he answered, Why are you asking about my name? And blessed him there. Yaakov called the place Peniel, face of God. Because I have seen God face to face, yet my life is spared. As the sun rose upon him, he went on past Peniel, limping at the hip. This is why, to this day, the people of Israel do not eat the thigh muscle that passes along the hip socket, because the man struck Yaakov's hip at its socket. Chapter 33. Yaakov raised his eyes and looked out, and there was Esau coming, and 400 men with him. So Yaakov divided the children between Leah, Rachel, and the 2 slave girls, putting the slave girls and their children first, Leah and her children second, and Rachel and Joseph last. Then he himself passed on ahead of them and prostrated himself on the ground 7 times before approaching his brother. Esau ran to meet him, hugged him, threw his arms around his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. Esau looked up. On seeing the women and children, he asked, "Who are these with you?" Yaakov answered, "The children God has graciously given to your servant." Then the slave girls approached with their children, and they prostrated themselves. Leah, too, and her children approached and prostrated themselves. And last came Joseph and Rachel, and they prostrated themselves. Esau asked, "What is the meaning of this procession of droves I encountered?" And he answered, "It was to win my Lord's favor." Esau replied, "I have plenty already. My brother, keep your possessions for yourself." Yaakov said, "No, please. If now I have won your favor, then accept my gift. Just seeing your face has been like seeing the face of God now that you have received me. So please accept the gift I have brought you, for God has dealt kindly with me, and I have enough." Thus he urged him until he accepted it. Esau said, "Let's break camp and get going." "I'll go first," Yaakov said to him. "My Lord knows that the children are small, and the sheep and the cattle suckling their young concern me, because if they overdrive them even one day, all the flocks will die. Instead, please let my Lord go on ahead of his servants, and I will travel more slowly at the pace of the cattle ahead of me, and at the pace of the children, until I come to my Lord in Seir." Esau replied, "Then let me leave you with some of the people I have with me." But Yaakov said, "There's no need for my Lord to be so kind to me." So Esau left that day to return to Seir. Yaakov went on to Sukkot, where he built himself a house and put up shelters for his cattle. This is why the place is called Sukkot, which means shelters. Having traveled from Padan Aram, Yaakov arrived safely at the city of Shechem in Canaan and set up camp near the city. From the sons of Hamor, Shechem's father, he bought for 100 pieces of silver the parcel of land where he had pitched his tent. There he put up an altar which he called El Elohai Yisrael, God, the God of Israel. Chapter 34. At one time, Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she had borne to Yaakov, went out to visit the local girls, and Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, the local ruler, saw her, grabbed her, raped her, and humiliated her. But actually he was strongly attracted to Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov. He fell in love with the girl and tried to win her affection. Shechem spoke with his father Hamor and said, "Get this girl for me. I want her to be my wife." When Yaakov heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter, his sons were with his livestock in the field, so Yaakov restrained himself until they came. Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out to Yaakov to speak with him, just as Yaakov's sons were coming in from the field. When they heard what had happened, the men were saddened and were very angry at the outrage this man had committed against Israel by raping Yaakov's daughter, something that is simply not done. But Hamor said to them, "My son Shechem's heart is set on your daughter. Please give her to him as his wife and intermarry with us. Give your daughters to us and take our daughters for yourselves. You will live with us and the land will be available to you. You'll live, do business, and acquire possessions here." Then Shechem said to her father and brothers, "Only accept me and I will give whatever you tell me. Ask as large a bride price as you like. I'll pay whatever you tell me. Just let me marry the girl." The sons of Yaakov answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. They said to them, "We can't do it because it would be a disgrace to give our sister to someone who hasn't been circumcised. Only on this condition will we consent to what you are asking. that you become like us by having every male among you get circumcised. Then we'll give our daughters to you, and we'll take your daughters for ourselves, and we'll live with you and become one people. But if you don't do as we say and get circumcised, then we'll take our daughter and go away." What they said seemed fair to Hamor and Shechem, the son of Hamor. And the young man did not put off doing what was asked of him, even though he was the most respected member of his father's family, because he so much wanted Yaakov's daughter. Hamor and Shechem, his son, came to the entrance of their city and spoke with its leading men. "These people are peaceful toward us, therefore let them live in the land and do business in it. For as you can see, the land is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters as wives for ourselves, and we will give them our daughters. But the people will consent to live with us and become one people only on this condition, that every male among us gets circumcised as they themselves are circumcised. Won't their cattle, their possessions, and all their animals be ours? Only let's consent to do what they ask, and then they will live with us." Everyone going out to the city's gate listened to Hamor and Shechem, his son. So every male was circumcised, everyone that went out the gate of the city. On the third day after the circumcision, when they were in pain, 2 of Yaakov's sons, Shimon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took their swords, boldly descended on the city, and slaughtered all the males. They killed Hamor and Shechem his son with their swords, took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and left. Then the sons of Yaakov entered over the dead bodies of those who had been slaughtered, and plundered the city in reprisal for defiling their sister. They took their flocks, cattle, and donkeys, and everything else, whether in the city or in the field, everything they owned. Their children and wives they took captive, and they looted whatever was in the houses. But Yaakov said to Shimon and Levi, "You have caused me trouble by making me stink in the opinion of the local inhabitants, the Canaani and the Perizzi. Since I don't have many people, they'll align themselves together against me and attack me, and I will be destroyed, I and my household." They replied, "Should we let our sister be treated like a whore?" Chapter 35. God said to Yaakov, "Get up, go up to Bethel, and live there, and make there an altar to God, who appeared to you when you fled Esau your brother." Then Yaakov said to his household and all the others with him, "Get rid of the foreign gods that you have with you. Purify yourselves and put on fresh clothes. We're going to move on and go up to Bethel. There I will build an altar to God, who answered me when I was in such distress, and stayed with me wherever I went." Hi. They gave Yaakov all the foreign gods in their possession and the earrings they were wearing, and Yaakov buried them under the pistachio tree near Shechem. While they were traveling, a terror from God fell upon the cities around them, so that none of them pursued the sons of Yaakov. Yaakov and all the people with him arrived at Luz, that is, Bethel, in the land of Canaan. He built there an altar and called the place El Bethel, God of Bethel, because it was there that God was revealed to him at the time when he was fleeing from his brother. Then Deborah, Rivkah's nurse, died. She was buried below Bethel under the oak, which was given the name Alan Bachut, Oak of Weeping. After Yaakov arrived from Padan Aram, God appeared to him again and blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Yaakov, but you will be called Yaakov no longer. Your name will be Israel." Thus he named him Israel. God further said to him, "I am El Shaddai. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation, indeed a group of nations, will come from you. Kings will be descended from you. Moreover, the land which I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I will give to you, and I will give the land to your descendants after you." Then God went up from him there where he had spoken with him. Yaakov set up a standing stone in the place where he had spoken with him, a stone pillar. Then he poured out a drink offering on it and poured oil on it. Yaakov called the place where God spoke with him Bethel. Then they traveled on from Bethel, and while there was still some distance to go before arriving in Ephrat, Rachel went into labor, and she had great difficulty with it. While she was undergoing this hard labor, the midwife said to her, "Don't worry, this is also a son for you." But she died in childbirth. As she was dying, she named her son Benoni, son of my grief. But his father called him Benjamin, son of the right hand, or son of the south. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrat, that is, Bethlehem. Yaakov set up a standing stone on her grave. It is the standing stone of Rachel's grave to this day. Israel continued his travels and pitched his tent on the other side of Migdal Eder. It was while Israel was living in that land that Reuben went and slept with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard about it. Yaakov had 12 sons. The sons of Leah were Reuben, Yaakov's firstborn, Shimon, Levi, Yehudah, Yissachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's slave girl, were Dan and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's slave girl, were Gad and Asher. These were Yaakov's sons, born to him in Padan Aram. Yaakov came home to his father Yitzhak at Mamre, near Kiryat Arba, also known as Hebron, where Abraham and Yitzhak had lived as foreigners. Yitzhak lived to be 180 years old. Then he breathed his last, died, and was gathered to his people, an old man full of years, and his sons Esau and Yaakov buried him. Chapter 36. This is a genealogy of Esau, that is, Edom. Esau chose Canaanite women as his wives: Adah, the daughter of Alan the Hittite; Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zivon the Hivite; and Basmat, Yishmael's daughter, sister of Neviot. Adah born Esav, Eliphaz; Basmat bore Reuel; and Aholibamah bore Yeush, Yaalam, and Korach. These were the sons of Esau born to him in the land of Canaan. Esau took his wives, his sons, and his daughters, the others in his household, his cattle and other animals, and everything else he owned, which he had acquired in the land of Canaan, and went off to a country distant from his brother Yaakov. For their possessions had become too great for them to live together, and the countryside through which they were traveling couldn't support so much livestock. So Esau lived in the hill country of Seir. Esau is Edom. This is the genealogy of Esau, the father of Edom, in the hill country of Seir. The names of Esau's sons were Eliphaz, son of Adah, the wife of Esau, and Reuel, the son of Basmat, the wife of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz were Taman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Timnah was the concubine of Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bore to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the descendants of Adah, Esau's wife. The sons of Reuel were Nachat, Derach, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Basmat, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zivon, Esau's wife. She bore to Esau Yeush, Yaalam, and Korach. The chieftains of the sons of Esau were the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau, and the chieftains of Teman, Omar, Zepho, Kenaz, Korach, Gatam, and Amalek. These were the chieftains descended from Eliphaz in Edom, and from Adah. The sons of Reuel, Esau's son, were the chieftains of Nechat, Zerach, Shammah, and Mitzah. These were the chieftains descended from Reuel in the land of Edom, and from Basmat, Esau's wife. The sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife, were the chieftains of Yeush, Yaalam, and Korach. These were the chieftains descended from Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These were the descendants of Esau, that is Edom, and these were their chieftains. These were the descendants of Seir the Hori, and the local inhabitants: Lotan, Shoval, Zivaon, Anah, Dishon, Etzer, and Dishan. These were the chieftains descended from the Hori, the people of Seir in the land of Edom. The sons of Lotan were Hori and Hammam. Lotan's sister was Timnah. The sons of Shoval were Alvan, Manachat, Ival, Shapho, and Onam. The sons of Zivaon were Ayah and Anah. This is the Anah who found the hot springs in the desert while pasturing his father Zivaon's donkeys. The children of Anah were Dishon and Aholibamah. the daughter of Anah. The sons of Dishon were Hemdan, Ishban, Yitran, and Koran. The sons of Etzir were Bilhan, Zaavan, and Achan. The sons of Etzer were Bilhan, Zaavan, and Achan. The sons of Dishan were Utz and Aran. These were the chieftains descended from the Hori, the chieftains of Lotan, Shoval, Zebaon, Anah, Dishon, Etzer, and Dishan. They were the chieftains descended from the Hori by their clans in Seir. Following are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king had reigned over the people of Israel. Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom. The name of his city was Dinahab. When Bela died, Yovav, the son of Zerach, from Botzrah, reigned in his place. When Yovav died, Husham from the land of the Temani reigned in his place. When Husham died, Hadad, the son of Bedad, who killed Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his place. The name of his city was Avit. When Hadad died, Samlah the Masricha reigned in his place. When Samlah died, Shaul of Rehovot by the river reigned in his place. When Shaul died, Baal Hanan, the son of Achbor, reigned in his place. When Baal Hanan died, Hadar reigned in his place. The name of his city was Pau, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezahav. These are the names of the chieftains descended from Esau according to their clans, places, and names. The chieftains of Timnah, Alva, Yetet, Oholibamah, Elah, Penon, Kenaz, Teman, Mivtzar, Magdiel, and Aram. These were the chieftains of Edom according to their settlements in the land they owned. This is Esau, the father of Edom. And that is the reading for this week. You can join me every week as I read through the Bible. I started several weeks ago in Genesis 1:1, and eventually, Lord willing, I will read the entire Bible on camera. You can also join me live on Saturday mornings as we are reading in the New Testament, and there is fellowship and prayer. So with that, may the Father bless you and keep you. May He make His face shine upon you and give you peace. In the name of the Prince of all Peace, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. God bless, and I'll talk to y'all next time.